Today we're going to look at solving ratio problems, and we're going to encounter a few different types of examples of the sorts of things that you need to be able to deal with regards to ratios. You're more than welcome to pause the video and have a go at this question yourself first and then see if you're correct. Otherwise, I'm going to go through it and I'm going to give you a method for how I think is a really efficient method for doing these sorts of problems. Okay, first of all, we're told an orange drink is made up of squash and water in a ratio 3 to 8. So squash is going to be this one and water is going to be this one, and that makes up the orange drink. And now in this particular case, we're told about one of the parts, one part known. We're told that there's 150 milliliters of squash, and we're asked how much water is used. Now what I'm going to show you is to use a bar diagram, and this represents the ratio. I've got 3 parts squash and I've got 8 parts water. And this is the beginning of how we're going to calculate the amount of water used, because we can see that this is worth 150 milliliters. And that is actually 3 parts. So 3 parts of this ratio is equal to 150 milliliters. Now we want to work out what 8 parts is worth, what this amount is worth. And we can do that just by using our knowledge of proportion. 1 part is going to be 150 divided by 3, which is 50. And then we're basically there. This is worth 8 parts. And so it's going to be 8 times 50, 400 milliliters of water. And that's our answer. So not too bad, really. You might do this without a bar diagram. You might think, yep, I know this is the number of parts, but I think the bar diagram really nicely shows the number of parts. And you're going to see for some of the later examples, it's perhaps less obvious what corresponds to what number of parts. If we're asked for the total amount of orange drink that we had, then we could either add these together to get 550 milliliters, or we could add these together to get 11 parts and do 11 times 50. That's just another possible thing that we could be asked. Okay, second example type, sharing into a given ratio. This time, again, welcome to pause and have a go, otherwise I'm going to talk through it. This time we're told about a ratio, we've got 3 things involved, and we're told the total amount. That's what we mean by the perimeter. The perimeter is when you add all the sides up. So, it's expecting us to know that geometrically. And then we're told the full thing is 18. So again, we could use a bar diagram. I've got 3, 4, and 5. Now, instead of just part of it being 150, I've got the full amount being 18. And I'm well on my way to working things out. So how many parts do I have in total? I'm going to need to add them. I've got 3 here, 4 here, and 5 here. So it's going to be 3 plus 4 plus 5 equals 12 parts. So 12 parts equals 18 centimeters. Then I can work out 1 part. 1 part is going to be 18 divided by 12. 6 goes into both, so it's going to be 3 over 2. It's going to be 1.5 centimeters. Now that's just what 1 part is. I haven't actually finished the question. It's asked for the length of the longest side, and that's going to be this one here. I don't need to find all the sides. So it's a very similar sort of process, but this time I've had to add the ratios. But being able to recognize which to do is really important in these ratio questions, because you might be given, you won't know what you're going to do. You have to kind of understand it and decide which type of question it is. So the longest side is 5 times 1.5 or 7.5 centimeters. Done, and we could work out the other sides if we wanted to. Third example, and this is the most difficult one, I think. Like, if you haven't seen this topic for a while, this is the one that you'll forget how to do, in my experience anyway. So in this case, we've got a ratio, and then we're told that the difference between the amounts. So we're not told one of the amounts, we've not told the total amount, we're told the difference in amounts. How can we work out how much each person gets? Well, guess what? A bar diagram goes a long way. And this time, so let's just think about this. We can see that Samantha has 4 lots, and that corresponds with Maria's 4 lots. So Samantha gets £18 less than Maria. So this is the amount that is worth 18. Okay, and essentially we've done 7 minus 3 is equal to, 7 minus 4 is equal to 3. Okay, so that's how you can figure out if you didn't have a bar diagram. Okay, we've got that 3 parts equals 18. And everything just falls out there. And the question that can be, I think, is really the first time you ever see one of these, I personally think, like, how on earth do we do this? But actually, with a bar diagram, by recognizing it's just 3 parts is 18, it all falls into place. 1 part is going to equal 6, and then 7 parts will be £42, and that's Maria. And 4 parts will be £28, which is Samantha. One thing I didn't say that I probably should have done is that we can often, for these questions, we can sort of self-check our answers. Does it make sense? Maybe not so easy for that one, but if you were to find all the sides in this question, okay, I know it only asks for the longest side, then they must add up to 18 at the end. So you can kind of check through that. And this one here, well, we can check at the end, right? We see that they actually, the difference is indeed 18, actually. I've made a mistake. See, this is why it's good, because I just did 4 times 6 is 28, when obviously it's not, it's 24. And now I see that I do get this difference of 18. So haha, that helped me out there, just checking it right at the end. So 3 types of ratio problems discussed, just one example on each. I hope that all makes sense. Bar diagrams are your friend if you become really, really confident and you can do away with them, but my recommendation is stick with them. And then you'll have a solid method for if you sort of forget, oh, I can't remember how to do this one or this one. Get your bar diagram down, show which bit you know, and it can often just fall into place. So I'd like you to try this question here. We're given Anna, Betty, and Carla share money into the ratio of 2 to 3 to 5, and then we're given 4 separate questions. They're going to have different answers for each, and they're going to cover each of the different cases. So pause the video, try them now, okay? This particularly the case if you didn't try the questions before. Just show that you've got this understanding. And I'm gonna go through them one by one so you can check whether you got them correct. Okay, first one. Altogether they have 180. I'm going to talk about these quite quickly. Here's the answer. What we need to do is realize that the full thing, so there are 10 parts. 10 parts is worth 180. I'm not drawing a bar diagram here, but I could represent it. I can work out what 1 part is. It's 18. And I can do 18 times 2, 18 times 3, 18 times 5, and this is what I get. Second one, so that was sharing into a ratio. This is when 1 part is known. Betty has £180. How much do each of them receive? Here's the answer. So we know that 3 parts is 180. We can work out 1 part, 60, times it by 2, 120, times 60 by 5, 300. Done. Third type of example here, Carla has £180 more than Betty. Okay, here's the answer. So we can see Carla has 5 parts, Betty has 3 parts. So 2 parts is worth £180. That means we can work out 1 part, it's 90, and then they'll fall out. Anna has £180 less than Betty and Carla combined. Just a slight little twist on this difference problem. It's still a difference problem. So Betty and Carla together have 8 parts. Anna has 2 parts, so 6 parts is worth £180. 1 part is worth £30, times together accordingly, and there we go. So if you've got that, then you're in good shape with your ratio problems. Finally, some more questions to try on a whole mix of ratio problems. Wordy questions, less wordy questions, questions involving geometry. Go for it. I'm just gonna like scroll through so you can get to the questions if you like. You can access a handout that I've made, and then I'm gonna show all the answers. Okay, there are the questions. Okay, answers coming up now. So for the first one, that's the answer. Second one, £350 together. Third one, fourth, fifth, sixth, getting a bit trickier now. Okay, 7, 8, 9, so you're having to find the sides and then work out the area. You've got to figure out that 3 and 4 will relate to the shorter sides, the base and the height. And 10 here is a work solution for. Okay, hopefully you're like this with your ratios.